I have to say, and I know there's a lot of people who are going to say no, but I think the Canucks have had a very good offseason. Adding Michael Ferland for 4 years at $3.5 million, that's a decent deal. 110% decent deal, $14 million in total. Not bad. Are there overpaid guys on the roster? Yes. Is Ferland one of them? No, not really. So Michael Ferland, losing him out of Carolina, that does put kind of a hole in that lineup. But I got to say, what this does to the Canucks lineup is kind of fun. The Canucks have been adding players, and you can look and go, well, they've got way too many players. The thing is, they've had a lot of mediocre players. Mediocre players now get pushed out. And my biggest concern right now is what's coming, because there has to be something on the way. If they signed Besser right now, you've got to think Besser's got to make what, 6-7 million a year, probably in that range, which would put the Canucks over the cap right now. Now there are moves they can make to make cap space, and don't worry about Pettersson and Hughes when these guys become restricted free agents and they got to get renewed. A lot of contracts are coming off the board at that time. Adding Ferland to the Vancouver Canucks really gives them a top six for the first time that I can remember in a while. And I'm figuring Ferland with Pettersson and Besser. Just throwing that out there. You could have Berchi. You could have Pearson on the second line as well. Pearson and Horvat played well, and then you got JT Miller on that wing as well. I like that top six. Berchi probably on the third line. Sutter, Virtanen. We need to get rid of Sutter people are out in full force. Here's the thing. I'm all for trading Brandon Sutter. Who's taking that cap hit? Not many people are taking that cap hit. And then your fourth line is likely Roussel, Beagle, and Levo, with Roussel on long-term injured reserve. And yes, I think Levo ends up on the fourth line because look at this lineup. So now if you're going to look at Josh Levo's $1.5 million and say, well, Vancouver's going to play him more than fourth line, then somebody has to be traded. Because remember, I've got Mott here as the 13th forward. He'll be stepping until Roussel's back from injury in December. That means I don't have Eriksson on the board, who makes $6 million per. Eriksson's gone. And at this point, maybe they waive him, send him to the minors. I don't know. And you only get $1 million in cap relief if you send him to the minors. Goldobin's a restricted free agent. I know they qualified him. He's not playing. I can't see him playing for the Canucks again. And Tim Schaller, I think his days as a Canuck are pretty much finished. He's got $1.9 million as his cap hit. So if they send him to the minors, about $900,000 stays on their books for Schaller. So they can waive these two, and that frees up an extra couple of $1 million. You know, it's tough, and I don't even have Gaudette on this board. So if people are saying, well, where's Gaudette? I don't know where he fits in unless you're going to trade out Sutter. But if you're going to get rid of Sutter and you're going to put in Gaudette, Gaudette's got to get his defensive game in order. Because Sutter, as much as we can all agree that Sutter's overpaid, Sutter, when he's in the lineup, plays a very useful role for the Canucks. So Gaudette going in there, that would be a big downgrade defensively. And I don't know that Gaudette, at his peak, will end up being a third line or second line. I know there were rumors that he was desired at the draft table. There were offers to the Canucks, I believe it was Nashville, that wanted Gaudette. And Benning reportedly said no. I still have some concern with the blue line, but you know what? It's better than it was. Edler and Myers, Hughes and Stetcher, that's likely your top four. Ben and Fattenberg, Biega as your next three. And yeah, I've taken Tanev out at $4.45 million. I could see Tanev being moved because Tanev is a right-hand defenseman. So he could go here, Stetcher drops to third, and then it's Fattenberg and Biega are your extras. But I don't even have Ulevy on the board either. So there's no pressure on Ulevy to make the team right out of camp. But you have to think they're going to make room for him. And Fattenberg, I would think at $850K, probably your number 7 defenseman. Biega would then drop to number 8. Potentially get waived. So is Tanev going to end up on the move? I still think there's going to be some moves made, which is why I've got like Pearson's $3.75 million cap. Eriksson at 6. Goldobin's a restricted free agent. Schaller 1.9. Tanev 4.45. Because I think there's more to be done here. And of course, their goaltending, Markstrom and Demko. I have no concerns about the goaltending. This roster, not bad. It's better than it was. And the team that had an iffy season last year still finished with 81 points and had a playoff spot at certain points during the season, and then those East Coast swings came in and just killed them. And injuries really did them in. So I think they've done well in adding Ferland, in adding Miller up front. You're adding some sandpaper, you're adding some experience, and that's those top 6 forwards that he wanted. You've got Myers on the blue line. There's some sandpaper there as well. Big physical defenseman. And Ben brings the physicality as well. At the very least, the Canucks shouldn't be a team anymore that just gets kind of pushed aside. There should be some pushback. I know last year there were a lot of Canuck fans that were mad that Patterson gets injured in Tampa and none of the Canucks stood up for themselves. Ferland will do that. Ferland will stand up for his teammates. Jordy Ben will as well, and Myers will as well. So there's a change in the way this team is made. And yeah, Benning's going for the playoffs because, as I've said before, he can't take the long road because I don't think ownership has the patience. Not only that, I don't think the fans have the patience either. It's only a matter of time before attendance in Vancouver starts to take a bit of a nosedive. It's happened before. So there is pressure on this team to make the playoffs. Is it a playoff level roster? We don't know. But at the very least, they look better than they did 2 weeks ago. That being said, let me know why you hate this in the comment section below, as I know everybody's going to get. This is one of those things where as soon as the Canucks make a move, I know there's going to be people who automatically hate it. Oh, Ferland, we already had a bunch of guys like Ferland. We didn't. This means Virtanen's getting traded. It doesn't. Virtanen is a right winger. Ferland is a left winger. Show me a team in the league that goes, well, we've already got one guy who could play a power game. We don't want to have two. That's not a thing. And Virtanen, if anything, he might be their best trade piece that they have, but I really don't think that you're going to move him. Berchi, we don't know how healthy he's going to be. Virtanen's shown that he can play a number of different roles already, and I think he stays with Vancouver. I'd be surprised. But that being said, something's got to give here. Vancouver will be above the cap if they sign Brock Besser over the next week or so, and they are left with some question marks. But there's players they can get rid of and still have a stronger team next year. Louis Eriksson is really the thing that's a weight around the neck of the team. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, as I know everybody will. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing right through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. This season's going to be a lot of fun for Vancouver and for many, many reasons. That's going to be very interesting because if this team all blows up and the whole thing becomes a disaster, that'll be interesting too. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.